Hello everybody. Today is Monday, September 15th, 2025, and that means it has officially been several months since I put out a real video. We'll talk about this and so much more on today's episode of Drive With Me. Today on Drive With Me, we'll be driving around a 2025 Corvette Stingray with a 6.2-liter supercharged V8, boasting 490 horsepower and 465 foot-pounds of torque. Today's Corvette has a torch red exterior and a beautiful black interior. Today, we'll be beginning out here in Omaha, Nebraska, home to Warren Buffett. We'll head on out on Interstate 80, cross over to Interstate 29, and then down to Kansas City. We'll be hopping on Interstate 35 for a short second, and then on out to I-70, all the way out across the state of Missouri to St. Louis. From there, we'll be doing a little bit of sightseeing in St. Louis, take a picture, ideally at the Gateway Arch. After our sightseeing in St. Louis, we'll be heading back on I-70, hopping on over to State Road 61, crossing over to State Road 36, and going through the back countries of Missouri out to Interstate 35 once again, in a city that I don't know the name of. Once we're on I-35, it is a straight shot through the rest of Missouri, up north into Iowa, crossing Iowa and into the capital city of Des Moines. It's a short drive, but a lot of talking. Let's get on into it. All right, we're inside the Corvette. We're going to turn on the engine. Now, the engine should sound pretty good from the interior. From the exterior, it will sound like a diesel. But that's all right. We're going to enjoy it nonetheless. Well, it's good to be back with you guys tonight. It is a kind of a day I've been dreading, I'll be honest. It is a day that I have to explain where exactly I've been. And before I get started and all that, I just want to set out the goals of what we'll talk about today. So, of course, we're going to talk about where I've been, what's going on with me, and why there haven't been too many streams or videos as of late. And then after we talk about that, we'll head on in talking about Brain Dead RP, why there haven't been too many updates there, and then finally OCRP and some changes coming our way. But first and foremost, I know what's going to be on the mind of everyone who's watching this, and that is, Brain, where the have you been? And, well, it's kind of a complicated story, so you might want to grab some popcorn and enjoy the drive as we chat for a minute. Well, let's start the story out a few months back. Actually, we're going to take it back about 16 months. We'll go back to last year, April of last year. I moved from Orlando, where I've spent a good portion of my life off and on, to Idaho, specifically just outside Boise, Idaho. I moved out there with my long-term girlfriend, Nightlin, who, if you guys are in any of the streams, you'll definitely have seen her in chat. We moved out there after we fell in love with the area, and it was an incredible 14 months or so that we lived out there. Absolutely loving it and enjoying every minute of being out in Idaho. Unfortunately, we knew it wasn't a long-term thing. We knew that we would be moving away after a pretty short stint there because she is heading, or we knew was heading to medical school. When we moved out there, we had no idea where she would end up for medical school, but we knew it wasn't going to be Idaho, or likely wasn't going to be Idaho. There is only one, believe it or not, only one medical program in Idaho, and it is a DO, Doctor of Osteopathy. So that was a program that she applied to and got in, but ultimately decided not to go. I'm beyond impressed with her. She's very fortunate and did incredibly well in her application process, and she had a huge selection of schools to pick from. Something that I know is not very common in the medical school process. So we talked about it, and she narrowed down her options, and our options were going to take us to either Kentucky, Ohio, or Florida. And ultimately, after many, many months of deliberation and visiting schools, I can't say we, she decided that the best choice for her was to head on out to Florida. Her school started the week of July 23rd. If I'm correct, I might be off a little bit there. And we got to packing on how we're going to head out. Ultimately decided the best way to do this would be to do a road trip like we did on the way out to the Boise. So we took my truck, not the classic you guys know, but it's a work truck I have. It's a beat up work truck. Took that, plan on loading that down with some stuff, getting a U-Haul trailer, attaching it to my truck, and then a rental Suburban, and taking that on the way out to South Florida. Now, the first part of this chaos begins on my journey to get this Suburban. Now, I had some work that was going to take me to Reno, Nevada. So we booked this Suburban through a rental car company, specifically Budget in Reno, Nevada. At the airport, I went out to Reno for work and went to go pick up my rental car. Now, this is all on July 8th. July 9th, the night of July 8th, I'll be in Boise. We pack, and then on July 12th, we are on the road heading down to Florida on a 5-day or 4-day journey. So I get to the airport, go to get my rental car, and the rental car company tells me that my rental car was taken because the manager of the rental car facility in Reno needed my car. He said he needed a Suburban, and that was the car that I had rented, so he took it, and as a compensation, they were going to give me 1 day of credit on my rental and give me a Subaru. And not sure if any of you guys, we'll get over for this police officer. Not sure if any of you guys have packed up a house full of stuff and moved across the country, but hold on, we're going to take a look here. There we go, entering Missouri. Not sure if any of you guys have packed up your stuff across the country, but a Subaru is nowhere near enough space to pack up a house full of stuff, even if we didn't have any furniture, because we were renting a furnished place. So after several hours of fighting back and forth with the people at the airport and talking to people on the Budget's customer service line, I was given a promise that there's something they could do there. The car was gone. The manager had already taken it. But if I found a different car, a different company, they would cover the cost difference between what I had paid for their car and what I would end up having to pay for a different company. So my departure was supposed to be at like 10 a.m. out of Reno. I end up only finding one Suburban available anywhere in the Mountain West, and it's in Salt Lake City for about $3,000, which was $2,000 and some change over what I was paying for the other car. Got in writing. Keep a note, I got in writing and a guarantee from the management team on the phone that they would cover the cost of this. And then I had to book a flight all the way out to Salt Lake City from Reno, get this rental car, get the Suburban, drive all the way up to Boise, and I got in, I think, probably about 1:30 in the morning. So it was a nightmare of a day. And that is how our journey to Florida started. Now, my last live stream was right around that time. I think it was actually the night before I went to go pick up this rental car. The last time you guys heard from me, if you only watch YouTube videos, or maybe if you watch some streams here and there, was that night. And on my stream that night, what I had mentioned was we were both very excited because we were in the middle of purchasing our first home. We were under contract on the house, and the plan, the way it was working, was perfect. I'll move over for this guy so he can get in. It was perfect. The sellers of this house were moving out a couple days before we did from Boise. So the house was going to be vacant over the weekend. My inspection period was ending. Everything was all finished up with loan stuff, and we were gonna purchase the home and move in that following week. So we would get to South Florida, go straight to this house essentially. Maybe have one day of lag time depending on how things worked, but pretty much move straight into this house. And then for Nightland, her school started the following week, on a Monday, and we didn't want her to be, in turmoil with moving and all that stuff after, after she started school. So it was going to work out very, very well for us. And, well, unfortunately, now fast forward a couple days to the day before we moved across the country. This is a Friday during the day, actually morning of Friday. Oh, there's a police officer. Missouri Highway Patrol. Or State Trooper. I think it's Highway Patrol. Either way. So this is morning of the day that we're supposed to move, or sorry, morning before the day we're supposed to move across the country. And I get a message from an inspector I had sent out there who said, we found termites. And not just any termites. He did an inspection on it, and there was some termite damage. There was an active infestation and termite damage. And, I'm in the last day or so of my inspection period. We are about ready to move across the country. This is not what you want to hear, right? So, I talked to the inspector, got proof of it. I talked to my realtor. I talked to the sellers, and I said, hey, look, this is a real issue. I'm not going to move into a house that has termite infestation or termite damage. We need to get this place treated before we move. And unfortunately, the sellers, this is speculation, I guess, but from my perception of how things went, I believe they believed that we were kind of locked in. We had nowhere else to go. We were moving. We were leaving the next day, and we were supposed to move into this house in about a week. And well, they refused to do anything. I guess they had offered to cover half of a spot treatment, and that to me wasn't enough. I needed this. I needed peace of mind. This is a first home. I needed to make sure that we were going to be okay. Unfortunately, they I guess thought they had an upper hand or something, and we were left in a tricky position. So, oh, my blinker's not working. There we go. Now my blinker's working. Okay. We were left in a tricky position. So, we backed out of it. We left the house, and it was a really tough thing to do because we're now moving in 24 hours or less than, and have nowhere to go. And well, what do you do? I mean, So canceled the sale, backed out of it, last day of my inspection period, and packed up our stuff. This is right after dealing with all the stuff that we just dealt with the rental car. And we're in Kansas City, by the way, in case you were wondering. We've made it to Kansas City, our first stop on this multi-stop trip. So anyway, we canceled our home sale and started our road trip. Road trip began rough. Had a little bit more stuff than we had expected, which I guess everyone says that when they move. But for someone who didn't have any furniture, I was kind of surprised that we had difficulties and everything. Anyway, we're now kind of panicking a little bit because where do you move if you've got nowhere to go, and you just know you have to be somewhere for her to start school in a couple days. I ended up having to buy or rent an Airbnb on the road trip. And actually, part of the reason I wanted to come to Kansas City is because Kansas City is a pivotal point in this road trip. Because it's finally the point where we realized we had a place we were moving to. Sight unseen, had never been to it. Had never seen what it looked like. But we booked it and, just pray for the best. And, fortunately, the hosts were very nice. Let us stay. We used it was an 800 square foot place, and we used one of the bedrooms, as entirely storage, but all of our stuff in that bedroom. And yeah, tried to get to know an area that we had never really spent any time in, and you know, get comfortable for Nightland to start school. Unfortunately, you know, again, this is little unanticipated, you know, or not little, very unanticipated. I had planned on getting right back to streaming in YouTube, maybe give myself a week, you know, buffer room for getting things set up and whatnot. But I wanted to make sure that, you know, we were on a roll. I was consistent with uploads. I was consistent with streams. I wanted to maintain that as much as I could, because I feel like I owe it to you guys. You guys are always watching, always here, and I wanted to make sure you guys knew that I wasn't forgetting about you. Well, we moved to this new place, and on top of it being a very, very tiny place, it is in a really not so great part of town. It's also got really no Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi was, well, I had one video go live the entire time that I lived there, and it took me 3 days to upload. 3 days to upload with my laptop constantly on. So it was a bit of a rough experience. You know, I'd wanted to stream from there. I wanted to get something, but it just didn't work. By the way, on our progress on the road trip, we are now leaving Kansas City. We're heading out to St. Louis. Now, my road trip went a little bit differently. I went south towards Arkansas at this point, but we were going to go explore St. Louis and then head on up to Iowa. So, we lived there for several weeks. You know, Nightland is an absolute trooper. You know, she's now in medical school and, you know, putting up with living in a place that's not ideal and having all of our stuff in boxes and not having the clothes she needs for school and all the different things that, you know, that she needs to be an MD student. And you know, on the YouTube and Twitch front, I'm not able to do it. We don't have the you know, we don't have the capacity to stream or record from where I am. Fast forward a few weeks, we extend our Airbnb once, and we're now there for a total of, oh man, 6 weeks, I want to say. Maybe less. Maybe it's 5 weeks. 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I don't know. We are told by the Airbnb hosts that there's a management company running the Airbnb side of things, but the owners of the property were coming back down, so we couldn't extend our Airbnb anymore, and we needed to find a new place. So last minute, tried to find a place to move, and we found an Airbnb in a different part of the area, and my brother ISO came down from Orlando, helped us out, and it was a whole day of moving between ISO and I while Nightland was in classes, and we got all of our stuff moved to this new place, and this house has been a nightmare. It is spider infested. It is bug infested. It is the internet's better, but it's not perfect. And yeah, the host has been a problem. But we have enough internet to stream and to record. And within a couple days of us living here, I went live on Twitch and YouTube, and I came back. I wanted you guys to know that I had not forgotten about you. You know, even though things were delayed, I still very much want to you know, stream and record and upload these videos. So now here we are. We're staying in this house. We're at a new Airbnb. It's our second Airbnb since we moved down here. It's been a couple months. We found another house that we put an offer on. Actually, we put an offer on it before we went under contract in this other house. And the couple that was selling this other house, not the one we were under contract on, but this new house in a different city, kept reaching out to my realtor and trying to counter the offer I had made them. And I mean, genuinely, they reached out, I think, 4 or 5 times with different counters. And eventually, they had gotten down to a point that was really close to what we had wanted. So we followed back up with them, negotiated something out, and we got under contract. We got a new place coming. Everything looked excellent. And all of this kind of came down, I think, or no, not I think, the day before I started streaming again on YouTube and Twitch. Actually, no, I take that back. It was the day I did start streaming again. And I told everyone, I was like, hey, guys, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but I want you guys to know here's what's going on in my life. And I told the story that I'm telling you guys right now. The contract was great. Everyone seemed very excited. We were all very happy. And then, so that was day 1 of contract. I told everyone on stream about it. We're all very excited. Day 2 happens, and we are live. All I am live at 11 o'clock Eastern time, 11 p.m. Excuse me. I get a notification. I get a text message in the middle of the stream, and this message was from the daughter of the sellers. She was representing them, or is representing them as their real estate agent. Oh, we're going a little bit quick. So she's representing them, and they tried to force us out of the contract. They had gotten a much better offer than what we had gone under contract with. They tried to force us out to go with that other offer. The following weeks became, I guess 2 weeks, became some of the most stressful of my life, and that's including all the things that we had just been through, because this then became a legal situation where we had to have attorneys involved, things that almost went to court. I mean, it was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. I genuinely did not get a whole lot of sleep over the course of the 2 weeks that should have been my inspection period. By the end of it all, we we ended up right back where we were to begin with, the exact same contract we had been under the entire time. All that happened was I lost the inspection period, which is kind of frustrating, but it's worked out. I had an inspector go out, still got to make sure everything was good. Everything's worked out. So, current updates after the 2 weeks of hell is we are back under contract in another home. We're trying to buy a place, and we're supposed to close on this place in just a couple weeks. So that should resolve the situation that we've been in for 2 months, or 2.5, however long it's been. Now, oh, what is going on here? Look out, look out, look out. All right. There you go. All right. I don't need to get run off the road by a Swift driver. Looks like no, not an accident. Like an arrest, maybe. Okay. So, that's what's going on in the personal life with Brain. Now, oh, hey, we hit St. Louis, guys. Welcome to St. Louis. Let's go on the outside view for just a second here, and there's a Wendy's ad because, of course. Now that has been taken care of. We're moving on here. We should be closing soon, and then we should have a place to live finally. Have an actual permanent home. Oh, hey, that looks like. You know what that looks like? Harrah's in St. Louis. I almost got robbed there on my road trip, but that's a story for a different time. Anyway, so we're finishing up there. That should be done soon, and that means that your regularly scheduled programming should be back in full swing. part of the reason I wanted to tell you guys this whole story. One is the YouTube videos and the Twitch streams, which I feel guilty about. I want to put those videos out there. I know there's a lot of you guys who I have a good time hanging out with in streams, and I know you guys have a good time, and it means a lot to all of us. But also, there are a lot of you, especially those who joined in after Hallow, my good friend Hallow. Oh, I can't turn there. Okay, don't worry about that. We're good. We're good. Take a look at the arch from outside. There is the arch. Anyway. All right. Anyway. So a lot of you guys joined in on this, on these videos because you're looking forward to Brain Dead RP. BDRP. The thing that I have been working on, my passion project this year. And I had promised before everything went down that BDRP applications would be opening up in July, by the end of the month of July. And I missed that deadline. And I think a lot of you guys, I'm sure, were probably disappointed. Where is this thing that was promised? Oh, I missed a turn. That's not good. That's not good. Oh well. All right. Well, we'll see where this takes us. Where's this thing that you guys were promised? I promise you, this is not something I'm going to stop. I'm not going to end Brain Dead RP. It's still very much going to become a thing. That is a cop, and I'm going to slow down. It's still very much going to become a thing. I'm still very much looking forward to having this become part of our community. I want this to become. I want Brain Dead to become a real thing here. Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, U-turn ramp. Good. So I have not had the chance to work on it at all since everything happened. Okay. All right. Since everything went down, all right. I just haven't been able to. It's just has not been part of what is a possibility for me. Work and the lack of a permanent living place have both very much impacted my ability to do that. Now that we're kind of settling in and actually gonna have a place here in a little bit, once we're through this shit, pardon my language. No, maybe I shouldn't say that. Once we're through this, Brain Dead is coming full swing. And that kind of gets into what I want to talk to you guys about next. When I started the idea of Brain Dead, I reached out to Hallow and I said, hey, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I want more RP. I want a place where I can do some, LSPDFR stuff and play around with a bunch of different liveries and just have things that the viewers want to see. And that turned into, hey, I'm not really getting what I want out of OCRP as much anymore. Main server is not as populated. It seems like, life server is kind of the more popular thing right now. No one really wants to be on main server. So on nights where I'm not on main server, I need something else to do. Maybe we get some more people involved in this and we do some, PvPvE. It's not just cops versus AI or, whatever. It becomes, a little bit more RP fleshed out. My blinker did not work there. Okay. Now it's changing again. Because I think it's time we had a really serious talk about something. OCRP for me has been a hugely important thing. It has been a really big part of who I am, who Braingap is over the years. Almost all of you guys came in from OCRP videos and streams, and we're gonna park here at the Gateway Arch and do this cinematic. There we go. All right, we're at the Gateway Arch. Beautiful, beautiful. I've actually been there in person. Yeah, OCRP has been a really important thing for us. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed that it's changed. It's not the same. Things have turned away from what I fell in love with. And I'm not gonna blame anybody for anything. I think that there are a lot of things about OCRP that are amazing still. You know, I think that Jeff has definitely put a ton of time and effort into the live server, and I know that there are a lot of people like Jeff who really enjoy it. But, you know, it's not really much of a secret, I don't think. That's not my style of RP. I don't do that. I don't like to grind for 6 hours to finally be able to do one scene I wanted to do. You know, I've got something I've got in mind of like, hey, this will make people laugh. And I don't want to spend 6 hours getting there. The Great Gateway Arch was beautiful, and St. Louis, they did a wonderful job modeling the city. Although it is definitely a little bit safer than when I visited it in person. Anyway, let's get going. So I don't know. I don't enjoy RP that takes hours and hours and hours and hours to set up, to get something. And in my opinion, to be 100% truthful with you guys, I don't feel that running around doing jobs in... Let me make sure I'm not missing the light. Okay, good. Running around doing jobs and, you know, taking something from here to here and you know, doing tasks is RP, you know? Or at least not the RP I enjoy. I work a lot of hours. I think that's not really much of a secret. My job has me working about 80 or more, 90 hours a week. And when I am off of work, I want to be off of work. I don't want to have to do another job. And I think that the fact that I'm gone so much and then come back and have to do that puts me at a real disadvantage, you know? In the main server, and you have a vMenu-based server, everyone is equal, because it doesn't matter if you spend 180 hours in server, if you spend 8 hours in server, if you spend 1,400 hours in server. You have access to the same stuff, no matter what. And one of the biggest things for me about OCRP... Oh, we gotta get gas. Fortunately... Oh, no, that's not a real gas station. Oh boy. Okay, well, let's take a look really quickly here. Looks like the nearest one is outside of St. Louis. Okay, I hope we can make that, because if not, I guess we can go over here and take us out of the way. Okay. One of the things I loved the most about OCRP was that everyone was equal, no matter what. Whether you were, you know, new here or a longtime member, or you were, you know, anybody. You were not any more important than anybody else. And that's, when I first got to OCRP, that was my favorite part about it. And I just feel that inherently with an economy-based server, that changes. The things that I love the most are gone. And it's really sad to say. And I don't hold resentment towards anybody for it, because, you know, it's people's tastes change. And I think that, you know, the admin team and OCRP made a decision that was, I guess, right for them. But I unfortunately just don't think it's right for me. I don't think OCRP, the way it is now, is right for me anymore. I'm not going to technically leave unless I'm removed. I have no plans on leaving completely from the server. But pretty much, I don't think I'll be on OCRP again. You know, if things change in the future and the main server becomes a thing again or something like that, I'm absolutely open to playing some more. But in the 2 months I was gone, I kept an eye on the main server. You know, just every couple nights I just check and see if anybody went on and played. And there was not a single night that I saw that had anybody on the main server at all. And to me, if we go 2.5 months without anybody participating in the V-mini server, the V-mini server is dead. And I mean, you know, I guess that shouldn't really be much of a surprise. You know, Jeff's been very open with the fact that he's not deving the main server anymore. And that's, you know, again, that's completely his right as sort of the person who pays for it, the person who puts the time into it. But, you know, if the thing that you're there for, the thing that you enjoy, and the thing that gives you enjoyment isn't there anymore, then I don't know. I don't think there's any reason to be there, which is really, it's a sad thing to say. All the people that I came up with through OCRP and, you know, got to know over all the years there. Where is this? Oh, I gotta go over the truck stop. All right. All the people I got to know, a lot of them are gone. A lot of them have moved on. They've either started their own servers or what the hell? Excuse me. Okay, maybe I can leave and then go around. They've either started their own servers or they've joined other servers. You know, I know that there's a couple of them out there that you got quite a few of the OCRP members on, or former OCRP members, I guess. Yeah, so all those guys they're gone. The guys I enjoyed, guys and gals, you know, people I really enjoyed playing it with. So as sad as it is, I think my time's come. And I understand if you guys who are out there watching aren't interested in watching new things, because it's a reality I've had to come to accept. Alright, we're gonna E and fill up with our tank. It's a reality I've come to accept. I know that is a very real possibility that you know, you guys enjoy OCRP, you want to see the action of, you know, some of your longtime favorite streamers and YouTubers, and, you know, I understand if that's the case and you're not interested in what comes next. But from a personal standpoint, I think it's time. I think it's time for me to leave. So moving forward, what comes next, right? That's the real question. What comes next? For me, next is Braindead. I'm gonna work my ass off to make sure Braindead is a functioning server that gives people the opportunity to have fun. You know, a huge thing. Oh, sorry. A huge thing for me is I don't want there to be a system where people are given preferential treatment over others. I don't. I've never believed in that. I have some really awful stories from DOJ, excuse me, that date back to that. I know I'm not the only one there, and I just don't ever want to be a part of something that has that. So I have no plans on having admins. You know, it'll just be me running things behind the scenes. If anybody is interested in helping, and as a community effort, helping keep this thing going or get this thing off the ground, having fun with us, I would love to have you. The plan is to work on getting the server finalized. A lot of things are pretty much all set. Everything is working the way it should be. At least last time I was able to get on it, which truthfully was 2 months ago. The biggest thing is I need to find a way to move this over from the current server host I'm using, which was a temporary server host to test everything out, to a professional server host. And I think that was my exit. Oops. Oh, that's okay. We can exit over here, it looks like. So to a professional server host. Now I have the server host already. I already have the new server that I'm paying for. I took everything off the current server and moved it over there, but I can't get, for some reason, can't get the new server to load. It'll start, and if you try to join it, it just is an endless loading loop. So I need to work on that. And then the plan was to have that pretty much done before the end of July, and the server will be up to go, up and running. But obviously, you guys know how everything went in life, and it just didn't happen. We are doing loops here because I am talking and I missed my turn several times. Oh boy, we are going all the way back. Oh man. All right, we can't leave St. Louis. We're just stuck in St. Louis. All right, we're gonna rip around these guys and try to get over to our exit. So, if anybody has experience and can give me some insight, please let me know. Drop a message in the comments, or join my Discord, which is linked on my YouTube. Join the Discord. Reach out to me, and I would really appreciate the help, because this is something I want to do for you guys. It's something I want to do for myself. Well, real, but it's something I want to do for you guys, and I want to. There's a lot of people who are counting on this thing being a thing. I'm going to back up a little bit. I did not mean to go over the line there. So that's the plan. What are you doing? That's the plan. So Brain Dead is going to become. That is okay. You ran a red light, jackass. All right. Anyway, that's the plan. That's what's going to happen. That's what's coming with the future here. So. I'd love to have you guys be a part of it. I know there's a lot of people in Hal's community and in my community, and we have quite a few other people who I became friends with in OCRP who, when their communities find out that they're involved in this, are gonna want to be a part of it too. So I know we're gonna have some good people here. I'm very excited for what's gonna come out of it, but I just need to make it happen. So. That's the future with GTRP. I don't foresee myself joining any other servers. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't plan on doing that until, if I do it, I don't plan on doing that until after Brain Dead is up and running, because I don't need to distract myself away from this thing. I have a couple other forms of RP we're working on. There's a project that Darren and I have worked on for a long time that, according to him, is all set to go. So that announcement should be coming out soon. I need to follow up with him on it and see what's happening there. But as far as I know, that should be up and running soon, and that'll be another form of RP. It's not GTRP, but I think it's going to be one you guys are going to really enjoy. And I think between the two of those, I've got some really cool RP ideas coming up in the future. The other side of what's going to happen next, and I don't know what that cop was standing there looking at. We are going to do a little more variety on the channel. It's past due. It's time. We need to get a variety of things coming. So the goal is to get some more new games out there, especially on stream. I've got quite a few games that I've had in my inventory for a long time that I've wanted to do, and I just never have. There's a game. Oh, that has an interesting texture. Okay. There's a game that is called Judge Sim that I had planned on doing on a stream over a year ago that I never did because I I don't know. I was never home, and when I was home, OCRP took precedence, and I think it's time to change that. Wow. Okay, we're getting boxed in here. Don't you love when there's people who drive on the left lane and don't go fast enough? I'll be one of those drivers. I hate those drivers. It's the worst. But yeah, that's one of the things we're gonna do. There are a couple other games too, but if you guys have games you want to see, things you think would be fun, and especially if you have any ideas of games where you know there's a community of people who enjoy RPers, people who can, you know, do the things I do, let me know, because I want a place to be able to use my skill set, I guess, if you will, my passion, which is doing funny characters and being goofy on the internet. If you guys know of games that have communities that are open to that stuff, let me know. Alright, so we're driving through Hannibal now. We are on the last leg of our journey. We have entered Iowa, I believe. I think I didn't see any signs that said we entered Iowa, but we are well on our way to Des Moines. Now, that is kind of the gist of what I really wanted to talk about here. I wanted to let you guys know what was happening, you know, in my life, so you guys could understand where things have been and know that this isn't, you know, I'm not interested in streaming anymore. I'm not interested in YouTube. Where's my blinker? There we go. For some reason, that blinker does not want to work. Specifically that side, the left-hand turn. Yeah, it has nothing to do with what I want or don't want. It is entirely a bad string of luck. But I'm here. I am coming back. We've got a bunch of videos that are edited and ready to go, and they will go out starting this week. I just wanted you guys to know, hear from me first, where I've been before any of those videos went out, because I think it would be unfair to you guys to disappear for so long and then just upload a video and not have any explanation of where has Brain been. So with that housekeeping out of the way, the only other thing I really have that I wanted to mention was I will be at TwitchCon this year. Isolation Streams and I head out to TwitchCon in San Diego every year. We've been going every year since it was the one right before COVID. We're gonna get out of the way so the truck can get on the road, and we're gonna goose it now. You know, it's time for us to get a little bit of speed going. So we've been going for a lot of years now. I think this will be my, I want to say 5th TwitchCon. If any of you guys are going to it, I would love to meet up with you guys. I truly enjoy TwitchCon a lot. I think it's a really cool time. Great people to meet there. You know, my brother and I have a lot of fun hanging out together, and I think you guys have a lot of fun at least on Twitch, hanging out and chat and see what's going on. I probably won't stream this on YouTube. I'll probably only stream it on Twitch, just because multi-streaming is very difficult from a phone. So during TwitchCon, which I believe is, I need to find out which dates. Dates will be on the screen right now. During these dates, I'll be over in San Diego. I'll be live streaming over on Twitch. So go check out those streams. And if you're gonna be there, or if you're in San Diego, reach out, say something in the comments, let me know, because I would love to meet up with you guys. I think it'd be really cool. I've had the opportunity now to meet up with a couple people who, have gotten to know me through this, which is amazing. It's just a crazy thing, and I would love to get to know more of you guys. So that's the plan with TwitchCon. It may be my last one. I haven't decided. last year I kind of was wondering if it might be my last year. Just gonna weave in throughout traffic like that. And we're driving a Corvette. Oh, there's an In-N-Out Burger in, I guess this is Iowa now? I don't believe that's correct. I don't believe In-N-Out's made it this far yet. But yeah, that is what's going on. Those are the updates. Now, I mentioned a truck earlier. I have not mentioned my Classic in a while. If you guys watched the video that I posted last year at this point, almost a year ago, talking about my Classic, I purchased a 1957 Ford F100. It's a style side, and it's a two-tone light blue and white. Beautiful car, truck. It is beautiful on the outside from a distance. The truck was not in good shape. It needed a lot of work. A little bit more work than I had time to do. The goal was to do a ton of things myself, and have this become a project of, hey, I don't know anything about this. I've always wanted to do this. Here's what I can do. Here's what I can amaze myself with. And I did. I surprised myself with what I could do. But realistically, with me never being home, that was a project that was going to take an eternity. It would never finish. And there are things there that are far beyond an amateur's capabilities. So, the truck has spent a good portion of its life out of mechanics. A group out in Idaho that has done a wonderful job doing the things that I've asked them to do, the things that I want to see in the truck, and making this truck look beautiful. As of right now, it is being finished up. Actually, it actually is already finished up. Oh, we are at an airport. I don't know which airport this is. Well, we're still in Missouri. Okay, we're still in Missouri. I guess we're probably pretty close to the border then. But anyway, it has been finished up. They are putting a couple miles on it to make sure there's no leaks or anything, there's no problems, and then it's going to be shipped all the way out here to Florida. And I will give you guys a chance to take a look at it and see what's been done to it, what's new, because it is it's a completely different truck. It is a different truck than when I bought it. I bought something that was a little bit better than a rust bucket. It had paint on it. That paint had drips. It still does, actually. I haven't changed the exterior paint because it's an expensive endeavor, and I wanted to get the other stuff done first. It is Mars. That's interesting. Fun fact about Mars, while we're sitting here, Mars is one of the largest companies involved in veterinary medical health. So veterinary care. Fun fact. They own some of the largest veterinary chains in the U.S. and in the world. Anyway, fun fact. I don't know. Pass by it. But the truck is pretty much done. It should be here. I am holding out on shipping it until I have a place to ship it. So it may be about a month until I see the truck. But I've seen pictures and videos, and it is pretty incredible what they've done. I'm really excited to show you guys. But I also want you guys to know that I played very little role in the way the truck has turned out. I'm not going to pretend that I did all that work. I wish I could say that I did all of it. I didn't. I did very little. But I'd like to learn more, and that is something I'm going to work on. Well, it's good to hang out and catch up with you guys. We have driven through pretty much all of the state of Missouri. We are on the last stretch here. We are heading on to Interstate 35, or back on Interstate 35, I should say, because we were on it very briefly earlier in Kansas City. But we're heading on to Interstate 35, taking a right here and heading north, and this is the last stretch, last interstate to change onto, and we should be in Des Moines very, very soon. And then our road trip is over. Oh, this car is gorgeous. I am absolutely in love with the C8. I've honestly been a fan of it since they changed the body style. I know it's not very Corvette-like to have a mid-engine instead of a front engine, but I think it just looks so cool. It is a neat car. Someday I'd love to own one of these. You know, when that's a possibility, if that's ever a possibility. But someday. You know, it's one of those, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. I was talking with a guy recently. All right, we are now on Interstate 35. We should be entering Des Moines soon, Iowa soon, I feel like. Unfortunately, it's dark out. I kind of want to see it during the daylight, but that just means we'll have to do another road trip during the day. Once we make it to Des Moines, we'll have to go from there. We haven't really had a chance to goose it. I kind of want to see what this thing can do. We're at 108, 109, 15, 16, 18. I'm going to slow it down because we got a curve coming up over here. Once we hit it more of a straight shot, I'm going to really try to open this thing up and see what we can hit. All right, we're entering a straightaway. So, oops, don't need to go off the road there. 113. And now we're going to goose it. Oh. The acceleration is a little bit tamer than I expected. But, you know, we were already at speed, I guess. So 135. Wow, okay, so it's capping out at 135. Going uphill. And we're not going to lock up our brakes. We're just going to slow it down. Try not to crash into the back of this guy. And I believe that means we are almost in Iowa. This should be the state border up here. As the sun starts to rise on the beautiful American Midwest. Yeah. So I did this road trip recently, not through Iowa, but I went Boise to Cheyenne to. Oh, hey, there we go. There's Iowa. Honk the horn. I went Boise to Cheyenne one day. Actually, I take that back. We didn't even hit Cheyenne. We had a really late start. The plan was Cheyenne originally. We had to stop in. Ooh, what is the name of that city? It is Laramie, I believe. Is that it? That may have been where we stopped. I believe that's where it was. It was tiny. It was hardly a city. It was a Starbucks and a Marriott roadside hotel. Not Marriott brand I named, but Marriott umbrella. And that was about it. So we stopped there one night. Next night we drove all the way through the rest of Wyoming, all the way through Nebraska, down to Kansas City, which was a hell of a drive. That was a hell of a drive. And we'd done this before, in the inverse. We had stayed in Kansas City last time. Terrible. And this year we had a U-Haul trailer and a Suburban full of stuff. And Kansas City is not a very good place. I'm sorry if anybody's from Kansas City and in the community here, but Kansas City is terrible. All the times I've been there, it's been pretty rough. So I thought the best place we could stay to stay away from trouble and have our stuff protected would be to stay at a casino, because casinos have 24-hour security. They're always in the parking lot making sure no one's causing trouble, because that's money that they would be losing. And so we tried to stay at the Ameristar. It was called. I apologize. The Ameristar. I tried to stay at the Ameristar in St. Louis, and unfortunately, it ended up being booked out the day that we were supposed to get there. We were holding out on on booking anything until we got there. You know, until we knew exactly where we'd be each day. And so we had to pivot, and the only place we could pivot to was Harrah's in St. Louis. I hadn't vetted them as well as I had vetted like Ameristar. If you're ever considering going to Harrah's in St. Louis, personal opinion would be to avoid it at all costs, because wow, was that rough. It was not good. Mold in our room. We were stocked in the wow, sorry, this is a beautiful morning here, absolutely gorgeous. We were stocked in the parking lot, and had people kind of casing our car. It was terrible. Had awful food. It was a bad situation to be in for us. So we got into a bit of a hairy situation. There was someone who followed us to the car, and we decided we were out of there. We were leaving. We forfeited our night stay, all the money we spent. Woo! There we go. Hey. Ooh. Hold on. We're gonna pull over the side of the road here because. Sorry, I know we're getting distracted. This is ADHD brain here. However, we are gonna just take a look here really quickly, because that building right there, is actually a hotel in Des Moines. Fun fact: it is an AC hotel. Is right there. That AC hotel is where I've stayed every time I come to Des Moines, and it is a really nice place to be. I have enjoyed every second I've been there. Highly recommend it if you're in the area. I actually really have enjoyed every time I've been to Des Moines. I've enjoyed it there. There's some really good food. Everyone's pretty friendly in my opinion. Yeah. So if you're ever in Des Moines, good place to stay. Unlike Harrah's, which was not good. All right. We'll get back on the road. Looks like we're taking an exit up here, probably. Yes, up here, and we are going to be in Des Moines very, very soon. All right, had to get a quick screenshot there for the thumbnail. And exit 9 should be our route into Des Moines. So, all in all, I hope you guys have enjoyed chatting with me today. You know, it's a lot that's happened, and it's a lot to throw at you guys, but I wanted to be straightforward with you guys. I believe in being open and letting you guys know what is happening in my world, so you can go, oh hey, look, news crew, that's really cool. What is this? Is that like City Hall or something? That's really cool. Okay. Yeah, I want you guys to know what's happening. So I hope that you guys understand what's happened in my life, and know that I am still here. The videos will be coming back. That things haven't changed on that front. Just ran into a couple different hiccups. And if you are interested in sticking around and want to see what we do here, even if it isn't OCRP anymore, I would really, really, really appreciate it. We're going to just pull over right here because I think this is a good spot to wrap up our journey. Well, that about does it. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this journey and my explanation of what's happening in my life. If you guys did, and if you want to see some more stuff, even if it isn't OCRP, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Does a lot of help for the channel. They're both completely free, but I really, really appreciate it. If you want to help out with Brain Dead, if you want to give some insight, if you have experience in this stuff, and know more than I do, because I'm sure a lot of you do. Please let me know. Reach out. You can reach out in the comments below or through my Discord in the About section of my YouTube. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much for your time and for listening, and I hope to see you guys in some more videos real soon. More videos coming out on the channel this week. Keep an eye out. I'll see you guys later.